Okay, listeners, it's now time for Showbiz Review. Showbiz Review is brought to you by Vodafone, Betway, and Tri-Steel Roofing Company Limited. Now, with Vodafone, all you need to do is just punch in the number. Just punch in or dial in star 110 hash. Star 110 hash, and you are good to go. When it comes to interoperability, Vodafone is second to none. They do amazing things for you. You guessed it. I'm talking about the Vodafone Cash dropping all charges when you send money to all network. Is free. Just dial star 110 hash to send cash for free. Ready? Now, Tri-Steel Roofing Company Limited is your first choice when choosing affordable color roofing sheets. They have standard sheets and long span roofing sheets, which include circular wave, self-lock, tiles, IDT, IBR, transparent fiber sheets, and more. Now, you can find them opposite Mile 11 Cemetery off Accra Kaswa Road. In Kumasi, they are now open. Call them on 03224 98177. If you are in Kumasi, 03224 98177. Here in Accra, call them on 0302 850 802. What is more, they give you a warranty of 20 years. 20-year warranty, Charlie. Not be small. Now, we are all sports fans. We are all football fans. All right, when it comes to betting, there is nothing like Betway. Betway.com.gh is the website to visit. www.betway.com.gh to play today. Visit the website. Now remember, bet responsibly, no under 18. Betway, for the love of the game, is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Now, yesterday, a list popped up. A list of designated ministers or minister designates. Awal Mohammed replaces Barbara Otinjesi as Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister. Former Minister for Business Development Ibrahim Awal Mohammed has been reshuffled in the second term of President Akufo-Addo. He's set to head the Tourism and Creative Arts Ministry. Now, his nomination comes after his ministry got realigned by the president. In an earlier statement signed by Acting Communications Director of the Presidency, Eugene Ahin, it noted that the Business Development Ministry, together with 6 others, had achieved the purposes for which they were established by the President. Mr. Awal Mohammed takes over from his successor, Mrs. Barbara Otinjesi, who doubled as the Member of Parliament for Prestia Honey Valley but lost her seat in the just ended December elections. The names of the new minister designates have been submitted to Parliament pending vetting and approval, according to the statement from the presidency. Now, the big question a lot of industry players are asking is, who is Awal Mohammed and how well does he know our industry? To help us in the discussion, well, of course, Ria is here, a regular pundit. Good morning.
Good morning,
You look beautiful as usual.
Thank you.
In the studio, we have Sir, let me add Sir, let me address him properly. Sir Elton John Broby. Sir, because Elton John is a knight. He's been knighted though, you know that.
I know.
So we have to address you properly. Sir Elton John Broby. From
This one's a borrowed title.
So Elton John Broby is the Elton, what are you, the presidential correspondent for, should I say multimedia? For now,
Multimedia.
Multimedia, yes. Presidential correspondent for multimedia. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, bro.
So, Mr. Awal Mohammed, in your opinion, why was he chosen not to any other ministry but our sector?
It'll be difficult to tell because the president is the appointing authority, and in this case, sometimes he doesn't provide reasons for deciding who he wants to play a certain role. And when he's firing the same, he doesn't tell anybody why he's firing this or that person. But Awal Mohammed, as you said, in the first term of the president, he was Minister for Business Development. and then now he's been reassigned to the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Arts. Now, my information is that you are likely to have a deputy minister who will be solely responsible for the creative arts
Right.
when the nominees for deputy ministers is released. So our may concentrate more on tourism. And you're going to have an industry player who will play the role as a deputy minister solely responsible for creative arts.
Oh, now I get it.
That is, and the names I'm picking even include somebody who works here. And we'll wait for that confirmation to come. So our may be the figurehead, but you're going to have technocrats, people who know the ins and outs of creative art, play that particular role as deputy minister. So that is how it is going to be. Because if I want to look at his CV and what he's done so far, there's no semblance of, the arts industry in him. Even though he started as a journalist with graphic communication, worked in the regions, came to Accra, later rose to become managing director of graphic communication. And indeed, it is on record that during his time, graphic made a lot of profits. Yeah, and in 2002, I think he won the CIMG Man of the Year.
Oh, wow.
And then went on to set up his own businesses. He worked with Chase Petroleum, later set up Marble Communication. He's actually the owner of Finder newspaper and few other, businesses. And then when President Akufo-Addo came, he made him Minister for Business Development. During his time, we had this presidential pitch where people between the ages of 18 and 25 would come up with business proposals. There's a panel of judges. They decide who business proposal, and then so every year you have like 20 people selected across the country come to pitch their proposals before President Akufo-Addo, and the winner is given some amount of money to go and set up. But all finalists were given some capital. So now we have a new group of entrepreneurs, young people who are who have their own business as a result of presidential pay. They have money, they are able to start up, and they are able to employ, and they are able to add to our economy. So this is our for you, in and out businessman, heading a ministry that is solely for tourism and creative art. Tourism I can understand, but creative art I have my difficulties here. But like I said earlier on, I'm told that there will be a deputy minister whose job will be in charge of the creative art industry.
Right. I see, but you touched on my next question, which would be a business development manager or the business development individual assigned to a tourism sector.
Right.
How do you even align that? I mean, it's it doesn't really. I don't think they are at par. Why do you think he will be assigned? Is it because of his background? And I mentioned earlier that the question a lot of industry players are asking is, these are some of the questions. Again, let's look at tourism, always getting the benefits, and then the creatives being relegated. Do you see that happening?
Well, I think if you look at the appointment made by President Akufo-Addo so far, let's start from 2017 till now. For example, health. He appointed an accountant to head the health ministry, and the reason was that the health ministry was in crisis in terms of their finances. Health insurance was almost nearing collapse. So he needed somebody with an accounting background to revive the place, make it profit-making, entity. Napo, medical doctor, headed the education ministry, and the marching...
He did very well.
Yeah, marching order was that go and spearhead the implementation of the free senior high school program and then get it to run. He did that perfectly. So usually in politics and in appointments...
And now he's been assigned to energy.
Yeah. So in politics and in appointments, you look at somebody who can coordinate, because your job merely is to coordinate the various sectors under you. So if you are effective at what you do in terms of your administrative qualities, you can get the job done. And usually you have technocrats who will help you to deliver on the set money, unless you are so inept that and you don't take advice, that you might fail. But in this circumstance, in terms of looking at how appointments are done, I don't really see how this may turn out to be a negative approach. Because if you look at what is done so far in the business development sector, he was actually reckoned as one of the best performing ministers in the Akufo-Addo first term in office. And he's had successes from the time he started as a journalist all the way to graphic, to his own businesses, Chase Petroleum, and till now. So you're looking at somebody who is competent, whom I'm sure that he'll be able to learn on the job, take advice from people who have the expertise in the field that he's been appointed. And once that deputy minister, who is an in creative person, he may be able to complement the role of the substantive minister, and I'm sure that things will get on very well.
I see. Ria.
Yeah, I think what people are failing to understand is that the creative art is also it's just a subset of the ministry. It's not the whole ministry. You get me? So I think him coming in for the tourism part is also, I think, something that I would like to say I would understand. And also, I would want to say the ministry has to, we as creative people, let me put it that way, we have been we have been advised to know how to monetize our arts or know how to monetize our crafts, and him being a businessman and joining the industry might help us with the monetization of creative art. I mean, we all know that music and acting or movies are not the only creative arts. In Ghana we have dancers, we have other creative people. So I wanted to just say that Honorable Awal might be an asset, might be a very great asset to us, and try to help us with money and the business side of the creative arts. And yeah, until the deputy comes, I think we should just be still and wait.
All right, Elton, please hold on for me as well as Ria. Let's get on the phone and speak with Prince Dadon Chega. Dadon, good morning.
Andy Dusty, good morning.
Good to hear from you. How are you?
Yes, Andy. Good morning to you all in the studios. And
Right.
to our listeners as well.
Right, Don. So, Honorable Awal Mohammed has been named as the next minister for tourism and creative arts. What's your opinion on this?
Well, I think that he was chosen based on his past achievements, especially after Eugene Anin has told us that the president feels satisfied with the work he did in the former ministry. That is for business development. And for me, tourism has a lot to do with business development. It has a lot to do with research. And going through his CV, I noticed that he has a master's in applied business research from the Swiss Business School and executive master's in business administration from the University of Ghana. For me, those are tenets for someone who can run tourism like a business sector, because tourism needs a lot of promotion, and you need to know the right levers in order to attract people to come to your country. You need to do a lot of research on the areas that you believe that can market the state to the extent that people will want to come over and see. You need to see the areas that are on the low, that need some promotion, that need some investment in order to raise it up to the level of, generating income. And I believe that with the kind of knowledge that Mohammed Awal has, he is the right person to fill this particular sector. Now, I heard Elton John Bobe intimate that probably would have a minister in charge of creative arts who is going to be an industry person. And if that is the case, then I believe that the minister would just have to liaise with him in order to achieve his goal in that particular area, because that is going to be overseen by somebody who has the knowledge for that. And for me, I believe that he is he's there mainly to promote tourism, looking at the kind of person he is. Now, let's not forget that tourism is the biggest ministry, the biggest sector within the ministry. That is what, generates income already for the government. And I believe that he, being the person who he is, can help boost tourism. Now, let's quickly take a look at Barbara Oteng. Now, Barbara had a law background, and clearly you would notice that she had some limitations when it came to promoting business, so to speak. And I feel that the president made the right choice by choosing someone with a knack to be able to market. Marketing is the greatest tool for tourism. And from what I see, he also received an award, which Elton John Bube has already said, as the marketer of the year. So clearly, Mohamed Awal, I think, can turn the fortunes of the industry around so far as tourism is concerned, whilst, he liaises with the person who's going to be in charge of creatives. Let's not forget that the creatives and tourism are intertwined in the way, and with his journalistic background too as well. I believe he's read a lot, and he knows what it takes in order to sell, promote, a place. Because some journalists are even specialized in tourism, some are specialized in business and administration, some are specialized in the creatives. They have various fields, some in sports, etc. So if he has the knack to be able to promote or market, I think that he's also going to do a lot of wonders there.
Okay, so I asked a question, and I sent a question out, and I would want to ask you too. Do you think with this time there will be no relegation of the creative arts? Because, well, in times past, this has been our cry.
Yeah, and Dusty, you've hit the nail right on the head. And that is why I'm excited about what Elton John Bube just put out. Because normally the tourism overshadows the creatives. And the people we have at the helm of affairs as far as tourism is concerned are not knowledgeable when it comes to the creatives. Let's face it. And that is why this relegation seems to play on and on. So I'm just praying that Elton John Bube's a prophecy would come to pass for the industry. Based on the intel that he has picked up as a presidential correspondent, because it's going to solve that problem, Andy. That is a problem that we've cried about, and I know that the president has probably heard through his people working for him, his people. So that would be solved if we have a creative person who has knowledge within his power to be able to help. So it's just about coordinating. Since he's the head, he's going to liaise with him to say, we need this, we need that, I think this can happen. And he, being the sector minister, will use his clout to push those things so that the creative person can work. So he will be more or less like a midfielder who will be sharing, the necessary allocations for the ministry, apart from heading the tourism sector. So I think that problem would be ameliorated to a very large extent if we have a creative person and him in charge of affairs. So Andy, I think the president made the right choice, and I believe that the whole idea of having a deputy minister in charge of creatives is something that is going to solve that problem, forever. Because the creative person is going to make sure that he shines within his sector. He has no other things to derail him. Now, let's quickly go back in time, NDC, when we had Chifa Gomashi there. She was a creative person. But at the time...
because I was about asking that.
Yes. At the time, she didn't have that kind of power. She was more or less a white elephant in the ministry at the time. We had rumors of the fact that she didn't get along with the sector minister, them being two ladies, couldn't see eye to eye. So it sort of, tied her hands, and she couldn't do anything. And the structure in the ministry at the time, you were supposed to take instructions from the minister. So if the minister doesn't assign you to do anything, or the minister is not too knowledgeable with the creatives, or feels the creatives that don't matter, and it's tourism that matters, the creatives will definitely suffer. But this problem has been sorted out if we have a minister in charge of, deputy minister in charge of the creatives. So for me, I think that the president has done a lot of research, his team worked a lot, and they've seen the ills of the industry, and they are ready to correct them, which we must give them, a round of applause.
So before I let you go, which industry person or persons do you think the president would choose as deputy to front the arts?
Without pausing to think, I would rather the president choose someone who was in charge of the creatives when he was in power last year. The last term. And clearly, we are looking at the likes of Marco Kwekumante. For me, he knows the industry. He's held the fort for the interim creative arts, agency to be, and he knows his way around the industry. He has all the players. in the industry, respecting him. And that is one great key to be able to control the creative industry. You need someone out there who is able to pull people together. You need a unifier. And for me, the temperament that Mark has, he falls right in place to be that kind of unifier. Mark is very, very tolerant. Most people think he is not, but for me, getting close to him, Mark is very, very tolerant. He gives people room and he listens to opposing views and sometimes just keeps quiet. And for me, you need such a person to be able to coordinate because the creatives are very loud. And some of them would rather just want to, I would say, make noise. So you just have to have somebody who can calm them down, somebody whom they respect. So for me, I believe that Okweku Mante fills this position, accurately. And I believe that it will be a great choice for the president to make him that deputy minister in charge of creatives for his next administration.
Will you be disappointed if he doesn't get the nod?
Very much disappointed. I would be very much disappointed because the president, chose Mark to head the Interim Creative Arts Council. He had very good reasons for choosing Mark Okweku Mante to head that. And of course, he delivered. He delivered. Under his administration, we saw the revised version of the bill that was touched. And you know that he's done a lot of initiatives so far as educating the industry. And for me, that master's class, etc., organized, he actually helped out in that vein. And it has brought the creatives to the fore. Some of those things that he did really put him at the top position where you can tell that he knows his game. And for me, he was even able to bring the opposition into some of these classes, and that for me gives him the clout to be able to unify. Because clearly when we politicize the creatives, it becomes a big problem. But when you have somebody who can play all positions in that particular place, you find out that it's going to be easy. Mark is somebody who relates to almost everybody in the creatives, with the likes of Sadiq, Ola Michael, who belong to the opposition, Rex Omar, they belong to the opposition. Mark has a very good rapport with all of them. And with this kind of rapport, he'll be able to tap into the basis of the opposition, bringing them together and putting them under one umbrella, under the ministry for us to thrive. In order to thrive, we need to be united. And I believe that Mark will do exceptionally good in that direction.
Right. Okay. Many thanks for your time, Prince the Don Chika.
Thank you very much, Andy.
Right. So that was the Don. Back at you, Elton. You had Prince.
Right.
You're quite close to the president. When do you think the deputies will be announced?
Well, for now, the arrangement is that once he's done with the cabinet positions, cabinet and then the regional ministers, the next will be the non-cabinet ministers, and then I'm sure then after that we'll go into the deputies. The arrangement is such that Parliament will sit at 10 a.m. So when the House is in session, the Speaker obviously by now will have the communication, will read it out to members of Parliament, then will refer it to the Appointments Committee. The committee will then have to decide on the roadmap towards the vetting of the ministers. Usually they will give 2 weeks, within which if you have anything against any of the nominees, you have to put it in writing and submit it to the committee. Once that is done, hopefully between a week and two, then the vetting itself will start. They will know the recommendation of the appointment committee to the plenary. If the plenary approves of it, then they become ministers. But on the issue of the creative arts, remember that last year, Parliament finally passed the Creative Art Bill. Mm-hmm. Now, which will lead to the setting up of a fund dedicated to this particular sector. If the education sector have a dedicated funds for the infrastructure development, it's because the GET Fund was instituted to take care of that. If the National Health Authority or the scheme, if they have a dedicated funds, because they're also drawing something from the VAT you pay. Now, if the Creative Art Fund is instituted and there's clear modalities within which funds can be lodged into the account, it means that money will be really available for the implementation of the money programs that they may have. So the minister and the deputies that may be appointed to support him now have no excuse not to perform, because the bill exists to guide implementation of policies and then also to get funding to roll out some of the many programs that they want to do. So for this second term, perhaps it will be instructive to say that the stage is set for the development that people are asking for in the creative art industry to take off, because there's a bill, there's a law backing whatever they do, and there should be a dedicated fund to help them prosecute the agenda that they have. So there should be no excuse from the minister or the deputies that may be appointed to support them. All we want to see is development and less talk, less criticism of the industry players.
Right, as I said, you are closer to the president. Now let's get a bit deeper.
Right.
We all knew how passionate the president was about the creative arts sector because of his involvement. Earlier, he even invited the creatives to party with them, and he met with them on several occasions. Do you think that the president is much more passionate about the industry? I'm asking because creatives felt disappointed, especially in the first term, where they thought that a lot more could have been done for the industry, yet were what they term abysmal. So you've been quite closer.
Right.
Do you think he's much more passionate about it?
Well, I can only talk about events that we were there. And I think the last one was during the COVID, when he invited the industry to the Jubilee House to listen to them, the concerns, the challenges, and how they can address it. And I think the takeaway from that particular meeting was the fact that the President was looking forward to the passage of the bill, because he has so much hope in the bill, with the assurance that once it is passed, the bill will deal with the many challenges that were brought to his attention. Now we have a bill. I don't know whether it's been assented to by the President. The bill has clear, content as to how things must be done. In terms of his commitment to it, I think the council made it clear. I mean, people had the opportunity to speak their minds on issues affecting the industry, and President Akufo-Addo was clear that once the bill is passed, they were going to ensure that it is fully implemented. Now it is passed. Like I said earlier on, I'm waiting to see whether it's been assented to, and then we can hold them to their word. I mean, for now, that's all I can say.
Right. Okay. Well, Elton, thank you very much. But let's get on the phone and speak with George Quay. George Quay is host of Showbiz A to Z on Joy FM. George, many thanks for your time. Good morning. Yeah, very well, thank you. So Dr. Awal Mohammed has been named as the minister, the next minister for the Tourism and Creative Arts Ministry, I beg your pardon. What's your take on this?
I think one of the most blessed presidents we've ever had in the history of this country is the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I say so because, look, he would be spoiled for choice when it comes to our sector, our ministry, which is the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. And to choose Honorable Awal Mohammed, I think he made a very, very solid choice. I don't know how difficult it was deciding to choose him. But if you listen to Showbiz A to Z last Saturday, his name came up pretty strongly. And the arguments that were made in his favor were also pretty solid. Arguments by CEO of FIFA Consultant, Marketing Communications Expert, Mr. Jesse Amo Ejepong. And you'll find the fact that, look, a sector of that nature is a sector that is like the face of the country. And when you're looking at the face of anything from an advertising perspective, you need someone with a marketing or a business development acumen. And when you look through the list, Honorable Awal Mohammed stood tall. And again, if you go back into history and you look at some of the ministers that have excelled the most in that particular sector, they have similar traits like those of Honorable Awal Mohammed. Let us even look at Honorable Jeku Kanta-Obete-Bilamse. We can go even as far back as Honorable Mike Gizo. And then you'd realize that there is a marketing, there is a business sort of acumen among all these people. And I think in that space, Honorable Awal Mohammed is the right fit. However, the tricky part would be the one who's going to deputize them. But that should also not be tricky because, again, we would be spoiled for choice. I said this year, we are pretty blessed. And I do agree with Prince Don Chega when he said that when you look at Mark's track record, being handed a sector for the first time, or should I say an agency under the ministry for the very first time created. And the way he championed it, all the educational initiatives.
Hello, George? Oh, unfortunately, I've lost George. We'll try and re-establish contact with him. Ashes, good morning.
Morning, boss.
Charlie, good to see you again.
Yeah, thank
Happy New
you.
Year. You've not been here since the year began.
I know, right?
Yeah. Okay, so it's good you've joined in the conversation. I'm sure you've been following through. So, yes, Dr. Awal Mohammed has been named.
Yep.
I will also ask for your opinion.
Well, I took time to try and follow his track a little, and this is one gentleman who has done very, very well for himself and for Mother Ghana. If you look at what he did when he was at Graphic Corporation, he excelled very well there. He excelled very well there. You know, he brought lots of changes to that particular outfit, and you know, did well. He's a journalist by profession. He has a degree, like we know, and journalism and a bit of marketing as well. So this is somebody who could actually understand a bit of our sector, because you know that in arts you have to be a bit of everything. You have to be a bit of the journalist, you have to be a bit of the poet, you have to be a bit of the painter. And I think he comes together with all these attributes that make him very heavy. He has his own PR company he runs. So in our sector, we've been crying for somebody who would understand the space. That has been our mouthpiece running along with. And I think for a change, we have somebody who probably would understand, because Graphic Corporation has to do a lot with image projection, has to do a lot of integrity keeping and all that. So we know that this man will come into this space and will enhance the art sector. So I think he's a fine choice by the president. I think the president did a lot of consultation to handpick him out and, you know, position him where he is now. We only hope and pray that he comes, and like the other colleague said, now every minister who is positioned, especially in the creative arts, has no, you know, there's no way you would say you wouldn't do well there, because you have the bill to back you. You have the structures to put in place to help you get the fundings, and then, you know, initiate the things you want to do. The last 10 years, most of the things were promised were not done. Got the creatives very angry, people bash, people talk, people, okay, all that has gone to bed. Now there's a new regime, you might say. There's a new 4-year transition. Let's see how it goes. With now funding being able, like, being behind them, we expect a lot. You know, let's talk action. All they said they would do, this minister, look, he should come and sit down and look at the what do you call it, manifesto that was written last year and this year. Do the things he can do within. Even if he can do 5 of it, do. Yeah, just do.
You're talking about even if you can do 5 grand.
Yes, because
I think that didn't be like 6 or 10.
in the last 10 years, there was plenty of promises, and then trying to count the doables were less. You know, so this time around, we're expecting the doables more than the talkables.
Right.
You know, so that's what I would expect from him. You know.
Okay. Well, Ashes, well, many thanks. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Let's continue with George. George, sorry we lost you on the way. Kindly continue.
Yes. At which point did you lose me? Do you recall?
You were telling us about. Hey, Charlie, what?
Did I get into the deputies?
You have not touched on it yet.
Okay.
You have started talking about. You have started talking about Mark. Yes.
Great. So I was saying that when it comes to deputies, again, it might be tricky, but we're still sports for choice. And when you look at Mark's track record, which were very nicely put out by Prince Adon Chega, I mean, he couldn't have put it any better. We all know what Mark has done. He was pretty instrumental, even in getting the creative arts some COVID support funding during the time. And all the training exercises that the Creative Arts Council has championed. Look, this is even any legislature backing him. You know, the man was given an office without any laws to back him. And it's even without laws, without any kind of backing power, he's been able to achieve this. It goes without saying that if there's going to be a deputy for this kind of sector, he fits perfectly. However, if presidency should have any other role for him, maybe they think, look, he has started doing something great with the Creative Arts Council. So like Honorable Kujo Nkrumah, who's still with Information Ministry, Mark should stay at Creative Arts Council as leader and finish it. So they want to look at somebody else. Then it goes without saying that the other best fit would be our own former Giba president, Kwesi Agyemang. And Mr. Kwesi Agyemang's work in the creative and tourism space, I mean, of course, cannot be overemphasized or underplayed. So these two, for me, any of them would do great to deputize Honorable Awal Mohammed. And I was saying earlier about Honorable Awal Mohammed that I believe he's also the right fit because when you look at some of the ministers that have excelled the most in that space, like Honorable Maigizo, like Honorable Okanta Ubechabilamte, somebody who has been with a graphic communications group. And I mean, everything that he has done, when you look at the track record, he is a developer. He's a builder. He's a communication and a marketing person. And I think it makes him the best fit to lead that sector. However, another interesting thought that, Andy, are you still there?
I'm right here, sir.
Great. Another interesting thought that I think Paul Adom Ochrin raised on Showbiz A to Z last Saturday was throwing in the name Honorable George Anda.
Uh-huh.
And, bringing in George Anda teases the argument totally differently. But you see, when you look at George Anda's strength and you look at Honorable Awal Mohammed's strength, it would be like putting two giants into one space. So since the leadership is gone, I mean, if it wasn't Honorable Awal Mohammed, I think another great minister would have been Honorable George Anda. You understand? So since Honorable Awal Mohammed has already stepped into the shoes, which is most welcome, by the way, and I believe he's going to do great, I think Marco Kirkumante or Kwesi Agyemang as a deputy would be most appropriate for our sector. If you ask me, I would put my money on Mark. So.
Just as I asked Prince Chega, I will ask you too. Will you be disappointed if none of these names you've mentioned are named?
If none of these names is named, and an even more qualified, or should I say competent or reliable name, because look, there are a lot of names out there. We haven't even scratched the surface of it. There are a lot of names out there. There are a lot of people who could do this job and do it very, very effectively. But you see, the political landscape is a tricky place. We may all be saying Mark today. Mark might even get the job. And, the nature in which we play politics in our country might not even allow him to function. Case in point, we remember the case of our own dear Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi. I mean, when Honorable Jifa Abla Gomashi was announced, we were elated, we were ecstatic. But, well, there are backroom conversations. That shows why she probably didn't do as we knew she could do. Those of us who knew her, or those of us who know her very well, know what her strengths are and what she could have done if things had played a little differently. So like I said, politics is a pretty tricky terrain. So though you know a person's competencies, that person might get into the space and politics might not allow the person to function, as you would have hoped. There are so many other names out there. I've heard people mention names like Besosai Kufuor, Obo. And again, when you look at Obo's track record at Musica, not a bad idea. Again, some time back, Jesse again opined on Showbiz A to Z that the creative space will not allow Obo to rest because of that 2 million thing. You understand? So,
what do you think of it?
Oh, I think we should let it go already. I think we should look. This space needs people who also have the ability to lobby. And if there's anything I've known of War for since his days in Fanston School, he is a great lobbyist. You understand? He is a great lobbyist. So there is no denying the fact that he would also be a great asset to that sector. It doesn't mean Obo needs to be a deputy minister. There are so many other wings. Look, if Mark should become deputy minister, somebody's got to step up into the Creative Arts Council. It could be Andy Dusty. Heck, it could even be George Quay. It could also be Obo. The good thing about this sector is that there are so many names out there, so many people with so many quality, so many solid competencies who can drive policy and make things work for our industry. That is why I started my presentation by saying, look, the presidency is false for choice. They just need to sit down, look into people's backgrounds properly, look at the CVs that are being put on the table, look at the work that have been done, because look, you're as good as your last job. It is not just about the names, it is also about the competencies. That is why in all these, when it comes to the deputy space, the two names that stand tall for me, Marco Kirkumante and Kwesi Agyemang. However, and none of these names should come up. There are still a lot of other names that could be looked at. But a lot of work needs to go into it. I mean, Black Rasta even suggested George Quay. Who knows? maybe he's not telling a lie.
Well, he says he doesn't. I was listening. He says he doesn't trust Marco Grekumate.
Oh, no, don't mind Black Rasta. He's just controversial.
He says he's worked with Mark before. He doesn't trust him.
No, don't mind
He
him.
doesn't
He was
trust
just being
Obo. He
controversial.
doesn't trust Obo when it comes to money. I mean, how do you
And
make?
those of us who have worked with Marco Krikumante can also say he's one of the best people you can trust in Accra, Ghana. You know, and the same with Kwesi Agyemang. I mean, these are people with proven competencies. And, Charlie, but like I said, if you ask me, I'll put my money on Mark.
All right, now DJ Premier has sent a message. Now, George, please stay with me. Don't go yet.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It says, my humble opinion, I think there should be 2 deputies. One in charge of.
I agree.
All right. Now this is how you broke it down. This is how you break it down. It says one in charge of tourism and the other in charge of creative arts. Dr. Ziblim for deputy in charge of tourism, and Okrekumante in charge of creative arts. What's your take on this?
Okay, it would be hard for me to agree with the Dr. Ziblim part because I didn't see much of him while he was deputy minister in the previous administration. In all honesty, I didn't see much. You know, maybe as a person, I probably haven't followed tourism much because I think in that space, the marginalized part of it is the creative arts part. So whatever we can do to contribute to the growth and recognition of the creative art is what we would do. So I cannot say he didn't do much. All I can say is that I didn't see him do much. However, if they're going to split it and there's going to be 2 deputies, which is something I agree with, I think then there is no denying the fact that the best fit for tourism would be Kwesi Agyemang, and then the best fit for creative art would be Mark Okrekumante. Some have also argued that, look, just as the regional ministers have lost their deputies, this sector should not even have a deputy at all because it has a lot of agencies and wings under its umbrella.
That is tourism we are talking about.
Yes, exactly. So Creative Arts Council should be like the deputy for, creative arts. And then Ghana Tourism Development Agency should be like the deputy for tourism. So really, you don't need another deputy if you have these already. So these agencies actually rally everything together and then they report to the minister or they work in hand with the minister. Again, look, at a personal level, I remember I had a conversation with Peter McMahon some time back. And I was telling him that one thing that the sector needs is a creative think tank, CTT. You understand? So you put together a creative think tank. Again, I say a creative, not a tourism, a creative think tank because creative arts or the creators, that is the part that has been marginalized over the years. And again, you cannot fault anybody. It is just the way our society was set up from the very beginning. Our political structuring was done from the very beginning. There's been a lot more focus on tourism done on the creatives. So it is about time we got a creative think tank, which is going to, think things that ought to be done. Because, Charlie, Andy, I tell you, we're playing, we're sitting on gold. We are sitting on gold. I keep emphasizing that. Countries like China, before China became the technological hub that it is today, there was only one thing that China was noted for, and that is their creatives. I mean, when years ago, Chinese movie, Bruce Lee. The creatives. And when you go to the United States of America, everything you know about America has been pushed into your head through the power of Hollywood. Let's not kid ourselves. If anybody knows America, this American thing, what did they do? They didn't dress like Donald Trump wearing suits and all that. They picked their creatives. Anybody wants to do anything America, they're changing, wearing jeans, they're speaking slang, they're doing some funky hairstyle, they're rapping. That is how you influence the world. It is creatives. Tourism is just for sightseeing, really. Mainly, that is what draws your revenue. You understand? What really drives economies, the thing that can make its role, make a space in our economic space. And actually, when we are counting the contribution of the creatives to GDP, trust me, it is going to be from the creatives. Just look at what Year of Return did last year. And for me, if you ask me, I think Year of Return could have been even bigger. It was like a windfall for us. So I don't think we actually sit down properly to even break it in detail. There is so much we can do, my brother.
Right.
Even in the tourism space. I visited Kakum National Park washroom some time back, and I was appalled. You understand? And this is a country that wants to be noted for, a space like this. So, like I said, the industry is sports for choice. There are a lot of us who are here ready and willing to contribute.
Right.
And people like Kwesi Agyemang, Honorable Awal, like Marco Kritum, they know the people that are available to be worked with. And I believe in these Nanado's second term, this next 4 years, a lot of things are going to turn around. I am pretty confident.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much for talking to us, Judge Quay. I'm so grateful for your time. Listeners, we are live on Hitz 103.9 FM. It's Showbiz Review.
Hitz FM.
Still in the studio. Okay, Ria.
Yes, darling.
You have a change of mind now?
No.
Okay. Is there any other thing you want to add?
No, I mean, I've said whatever I want to say, and I would like to reiterate what I said a couple of weeks ago, that I do not care who is there, who is going to sit on the seat as deputy.
When you made that
head.
statement about you not caring about who will be there and who does what,
Yes.
it was about your disappointment from the previous government.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. So
Do you still stand by it?
I still stand by it. I do
Okay.
not care. So far as the person is going to work hard and is going to acknowledge some of our problems and grievances, I mean, I'm cool with that person.
Right. You were on the floor before George came in.
Yes. The most important thing is work. You know, whoever comes, we just expect that particular sector to blossom. You know, we've been deprived for far too long. A lot of things do not go our way. It goes much to the tourism sector, and then we as creatives get to suffer. You know, but like I was saying, now there should be proper funding. There should be proper disbursement. There should be plans outlined that government, you know, would come to our aid to help. You know, so if we say we're looking for a minister who understands us and we've gotten it, there should be no excuse. Honestly, one who understands our space is there now. Well, as to the deputy, yes, everybody has their take. People would want to lobby for all various individuals. Brilliant names have come up. Yes, from where I sit, I'll definitely back Mark to get it. I've seen what Mark has been able to do. He will be the best person for me to get the nod to do, you know. Somebody was asking me to just name one thing, and I said, listen, if I don't know anything, I know about Hitz FM. I know what Marco Krekumante has used Hitz FM to do. You know, it was one of these stations, but now, in terms of entertainment, but now it's the station. When you call entertainment, you definitely have to call Hitz FM now, you know. So that revolution he took on can give me that confidence that if he's giving that helm of affair, he can also change a lot of things, you know. Like we all said, he's somebody who takes ideas. You can easily run to Mark with an idea and he'll pick it up and then, you know, turn it around or make it his or try to make sure that it works. So, I mean, he has our blessings. If he gets the seat, if he gets the nod, yes, we will also support him to do a great job. Whoever gets the nod too, yes, we will be there to support, good or bad. But if we have to bash, we'll bash. If we have to criticize, we'll criticize. But my point here is we shouldn't finish another 4-year tenure for excuses to happen. For people didn't get the auditorium and then all those things should come back again. Let them take us serious for once, you know. Whatever plans they have or they've outlined in the manifesto should be done. My thing is at least 60% of those plans should be done under Nana Akufo-Addo's tenure. He shouldn't leave this seat for us to say, oh, by one, I'm creative art. No, it will be a big disappointment for me personally. So the ministers that will be appointed should try and make sure that they amplify our needs to the government. So it will be done for us.
Hitz 103.9 FM. It's Showbiz Review. Let me read this comment quickly. It looks like, well, there are not too many anyway. I've noticed this for me. I think Mark is the best person to do a great job. Please, I haven't seen Honorable Awal Mohammed's works before, but I hope he will do well in the industry. That one is from F. Noete. Original Slice says, what I care about is someone who will wear the boots and do the work regardless of highest certificate or not. So whoever is appointed, so far as we see the effect of his work, I'm cool. At the end of the day, it's about getting results, and that's what matters. Right. So these are some of the few comments that have come up. Wait. I think I have some more. I think I lost it. Okay. I lost it, but it's fine. Right. So let's drink more water this morning. Water is life. I told you earlier that water helps keep you alive and kicking. Water regulates your body temperature. Choose awake drinking water. Awake drinking water is good. It's a premium purified water treated through a strict purification process to ensure that every bottle on the market refreshes you better. We have the perfect sizes fit for all your use. Fit for all use, 330 ml, 500 ml bottle to fit your pockets and bags, 750 ml for the heavy drinkers, and 1.5 liters for those who always want more. All right? Now, the most special part for me is the 19-liter jar for offices and homes. Awake is a product of Kasaprekun Company Limited, an ISO certified company. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA. Now, from the 11th of February to 17th, from the 11th to 17th of February, we're going for a getaway. We're going for a vacation. Don't look at me like that. We're going to Maldives. Maldives is the world's leading destination in 2020, and the most trusted agency, Adansi Travels, is inviting you to join the next ultimate relaxation trip for a special deal of only $2,650 single, $5,250 couple, which I'm paying anyway. You get your flight on Qatar Airways, 5-night hotel, full board meals, COVID PCR test, and many other benefits. Book now at www.adansitravels.com with coupon code ADANSI21 to enjoy huge discounts plus free swimming lessons ahead of the trip. Kindly call Adansi Travels on 0556 310404. Take the sweet vacay with your loved one for an unforgettable romantic getaway. Now, this morning I gave coupons to our dear friends to go and chop pizza at Artist Pizza. Look no further. You can find them on the Spintex Road, 18 Junction, opposite KFC. Call them on 0559 520 591. 0559 520 591 or 0275 205 911. Artist Pizza and Pub, great tastes. Great tastes. Okay, listeners, please keep it tuned in. Quick commercial. When I come back, Gas Miller is speaking. He says, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, they've not helped musicians. Do you share the same opinion? Please stay. We'll be right back. Gas Miller says, Game Over, and the song features Luther. Okay, so Gas Miller is speaking. But hey, Showbiz Review is proudly brought to you by Troy Steel Roofing Company Limited, Vodafone, and Betway. So, Gas Miller says, well, the industry, the ministry hasn't helped musicians. Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. Ghanaian musician Odate Miller Lamte, well known as Gas Miller, has stated that the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts has not helped musicians. Speaking in an interview with Dr. Pregeson on Onuya FM, the Telemo composer said the ministry is political. Gas Miller, otherwise known as International Fisherman, stressed that the ministry has not promoted the affairs of musicians. He averred that they have to do more if they want to help musicians in the country, adding that there is so much they can do to help if they speed up. He further proposed for the creative arts to have an independent body or ministry since a lot of people are involved. Gas Miller believed it will benefit many people if the government invests in this creative arts sector. Please, let's listen to Gas Miller.
But what do you think of a Ministry of Tourism? Yeah, Ministry of Tourism, musicians in particular, and I also quick one.
So I think the little that I've seen is Ministry of Tourism is more political. I don't think it has really helped our people. To be honest, I think that they could do more. Some people are musicians there, then I think and they also must speed up because there's so much you lot can do for the musicians association and the musicians living in Ghana. So I think creative arts as a body has to be, has to be by itself. Why? Because we have painters, we have designers, we have business managers, you have artists.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things when it comes to creative arts. I don't think when you add it to tourism, it's like
This is Hitz.
Righty. So, let me begin with you, Ashes. Okay, so you heard Gas Miller.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him?
In a way, in some ways,
What is expected of the creative arts ministry that you think musicians or artists are not getting?
Okay, Andy, I'll ask you back a question.
And you expect me to answer?
I beg you, help me with this. No, because it will help our discussion. Okay, you were appointed an ambassador for was it tourism or the creative art? Tourism ambassador.
Backing vocalist is playing Discord.
That's not where I'm going.
The president didn't appoint me.
But you were giving your appointment letter to one of the
It was it the president?
But it was what? But who appointed the minister?
So why too many voices? I hear voices. Okay, so I asked the question. Are you?
Yes, I'm asking you.
No.
Were you given funding
No.
for you to be able to do your job?
No.
Okay, so that is one of the processes that people in our sector face. Is it because you are part of the creative arts, so you probably were not taken seriously to be given the necessary requisite funding to do your job? You understand me? Okay, it so happens that people from the tourism, each time the budget is being read or each time the government is speaking, right, the people from the tourism are praised, if I might put it in plain language, much more than the people in our sector. The tourism kind of helps the GDP better than us. So is it that the tourism is like a baby child when it comes to that sector, to the government, than ours? You understand what I'm saying? Is it that the government is not looking at what our sector could also do? Because our sector is like the eye-opener to the tourism. If we don't create it, how would the tourism, be able to move? But whenever funds are allocated, it goes much more into tourism than it comes to our sector.
I feel landing on. It's like going to move. Did you hear that?
Yeah, catch you on.
No, but that's what I heard. I'm going to move.
Did
you hear move?
Oh,
Continue, sorry. Yeah, he said move. You miss London.
You've distorted my thoughts in a way. So what we're trying to say is our sector should be taken serious. If funds are allocated, like if proper guidelines are placed on our side, we could do a lot. See, all those tourism that run around the world, right? Go Kenya, go wherever it is. It starts from an artwork. It starts from the visuals that goes out. Then people start planning their holidays. Then they delve into the country. Let's look at what happened at the Year of Return. It took the world by surprise. It shook the very foundation of West Africa. People from wherever were trooping into Ghana. How did it go out? Some people put out flyers. Some people put out some artwork. Some people did something that had to do with creatives. So then it's telling you something that if our sector is taking that serious, is giving that empowerment, we can do a lot to help the other side. But every time we go, that side gets the lion's share, and then we are left. And I think that is where Gasmela's problem is. We should have that creative art sector that is empowered, not just a name that's been placed on it, but really empowered. How do you empower? You empower it from Gumroad, you empower it from music, you empower it from every aspect that the creative art body swings on should be empowered for it to operate, to bring in a lot of revenue. You understand? Because musicians in this country, their daily cry is they're suffering. They don't see their royalties. They don't know where their monies are going. A lot of things are going wrong in our sector, which can be really curbed. That is one of the reasons why I would probably push back to this agenda. That if I'm pushing for Mark, I'm pushing for him to come and then help structure that Gumroad thing. It's one of the areas that is really impoverishing the musician. Sorry to say this, but they are not getting what they are expected because the loggings and other things are not working. So they would cry. So then we need that power. We need that force in the helm of government for us to also move. So if they are giving, if this time around, if they're giving us that minister and then all the bill has been passed, we see no reason why any of them should fail. They should come and then help and make sure that this our sector also thrives and moves forward.
Ria.
Yeah, I would like to say we all know that Gasmela is one of the most outspoken artists of our time, and I think I would like to totally agree with him with the creative arts ministry. We having a creative arts ministry to stand on its own, so we can get full attention and be able to voice out what we need and our grievances, or what we might call it. And I think, in my opinion, every single artist I have had a conversation with on your show or personally have issues with the creative arts industry, have issues with the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Arts. So I think I totally agree with him. There's a lot to be done. And I hope the new appointees are going to actually hear our voices and look towards making it a very great industry, because it has so many potentials. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay, let me get on Twitter and read some more. Hey, what's happening to my... Okay, it's all right. So, Gasmela is saying, if you heard what Ashe said, Ria, that he feels like most of them are not empowered to work.
Mm-hmm.
Your disappointment with the previous government was because, for instance, or especially, Honorable Jifa Gumeshi wasn't empowered enough or given the room to operate. Mm-hmm. Will you be disappointed if same is applied here?
Yes, I would be very disappointed, because we are, as I said the other time, when Honorable Jifa Gumeshi was put in as the Deputy Minister of Creative Arts and Tourism, we thought she was our saving grace, because she had been there and she understood. Okay? Then finally she gets there and nothing was done.
No, something was done.
I was a student.
No,
I was a student.
She expressed she mentioned some things.
I was a student in the University of
her.
Ghana by then. And I went to the School of Performing Arts. And one thing I would say that she really did well with was the fact that she came to every single event we invited her to. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So,
actually, something was done.
Okay.
But anyways,
well, can I voice my point of view?
No, so allow
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Yeah, so she came, and I think we as students brought up some grievances towards her about we being artists. We study music, we study arts, we study theater arts, we have dance students. I was a combined major for dance student and a theater arts student.
That's what they call dondology.
Yes, that's what they call dondology.
So say I did dondology.
No, I was in the School of Performing Arts.
There's nothing wrong if you did odontology. You did
Theater,
odontology.
It is not.
Nothing wrong.
Well,
odontology.
however you decide
The
to call
funniest part
it.
when someone told that
Let's go.
granny that yeah dondology, so don't some more.
However it is.
Let's go.
We came to her saying, okay, mommy, we are students. We study all these things. People play violin in my school. People play the piano. Very, very beautiful artworks. Very, very beautiful forms of arts from our school. And we come out and
there's no jobs.
There's nothing for us to do. Okay, unless maybe you have the capital to be able to carve a niche for yourself and start something on your own. Apart from that, there's nothing for us to do. What do we do? What is the way forward? And now, most of these talented people come out, and they end up in banks. They end up in the corporate world. You guess me. Then it's like the talent has been shielded. The knowledge we acquired from school has been shielded. I mean, we are able to fit anywhere by God's grace. But then it's sad. You understand? It is very sad. So then, for me, for me, I don't know about you. I mean, you are in the creative arts industry. Maybe she did something for you, but for me, I didn't see. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it.
So for you to say you don't care who does what in
because she was my favorite. I thought
that's
she
what I'm
was
saying.
our
So for you to
saving
make that statement that you don't
Yes.
really, you see, each time you make that statement, it gets me a bit worried. Do you know why? Because you need to push for change. I'm sure a lot of
grace. We
people.
thought she was change.
Excuse
That
me.
is it. We thought
Yes,
she was
but
change.
her government is over, and there is a new. There's a new.
Yes. But you see, when we needed that, that was when I needed her the most. Okay, that was what, like, I needed to know that immediately I stepped out of School of Performing Arts. I'm not saying that by magic something, I would not work hard and then something will come out for me, but I wanted some reassurance. I wanted something to step on to say, okay, I know that immediately I step out, there's
a
this
job
safety
market,
net for
something.
me. There's a job market somewhere.
Few messages. F Notice says, I think the creative arts industry should be separated from the tourism ministry. He continues to say, please, I don't fully agree with Gas Miller. The government has not done much for the creative arts industry. One way or the other, something was done. All right. Now, Pandora 7 says, well, Andy, so the ministers, when they go outside, don't they see how organized their tourism is structured? Even if they see the profit in Kwau. Oh, Amagana. Oji Wangana says, please, why do people underrate dondology? I don't understand Ghanaians too. We do always think that people who are into arts are not intelligent. Okay. Now, Guamamila says, number one done. Angel Michael Jr. said, the president will never choose Mark. He doesn't deserve it. How can a personality like him be a deputy minister? Why?
That's his opinion. You have to allow him.
Script Multimedia J says, hey, Ashes that. Wow, I see you keep. Dixon Michael says, George Quay is making a point.
Is he? Hey,
Good morning, boss Andy. Please ask Kinia, man.
your own opinion is wrong.
Please, Your Honor.
Sorry.
Why would she let the 2 million go away with no good reason? Gonna wake up small, Maino from a shaman. Now let's say good morning to Mega Entertainment. Yes, Mega. You do all. Mega do everything. Okay, so let's end it here. Let's end it all. How's just your last words?
Charlie, we thank God it's a new year. We're back.
So you said the other time, oh, we are back. Oh, Charlie, we are back.
No, we take
Not
on
knowing truly you were going back.
No, we are back. Me and Hagland discuss our matters. We are back. Don't worry. You'll see me a lot this year. Yeah.
Ria,
Okay.
people think your mind no day.
Oh, leave them alone. Like to say a very good morning to my mommy, Miss Tufaya Jackson. And I would like to remind
Mommy?
everybody. Yes.
Mommy, I met Daddy. Oh. Mommy, I'll come home. Mommy, when should I come home?
And I would like to actually encourage our listeners to wear their nose masks. Wash your hands regularly. Use your sanitizer regularly. And stay alive. All right. Thank you, Andy.
This is Hitz.